There it was, sports, business, and monogamy. So what the hell does it all mean? The sports question is easy. Competition is the American mindset, especially the kind of competition where the American has to do nothing but sit and scream at people in the distance and be really secure in their certainty and knowledge. Because the average American knows all, and certainly knows all about sports. And especially knows all about sharing in his sports team's successes. A win for them is a win for us. Glory by proxy. Whether it's where you came from, what you look like, what your name is, Americans sure as fuck know how to take credit for someone else's work. Which couples nicely with our sedentary lifestyle. Because it seems America has become a macroscopic version of the class group project, there's really only one guy who, for our purposes, will be called the project leader, actually working. The rest are all fucking off, which is fine because the guy who's doing the work doesn't want us to know what's going on. Instead of us working with him, he shows us how to fuck off constructively, so we, without knowing it, help him get his good grade by our way of fucking off. The group project that we're supposed to be working on is called Being an American. Originally, it had to do with civics and community or something, I don't know. I mean, I wasn't alive back then, but I mean, I'll take credit for it if that team won. But only those few leaders have been working on the project proper, and they've got us off chasing really stupid, desperate shit, like fame and youth or money or anything fleeting, while at the same time encouraging leisure, relaxing, taking a break, and doing anything unrelated to work, because work is hard. You deserve a break. That message hits the most vulnerable of us, the young ones, looking for fame and money and anything fleeting because they don't know any better, which is great for business. While they're off making it, we've got them softening up in retail and corporate jobs, which is great because no one really wants to work on becoming their dream. It's so much work, and they're already worked to death as it is. So, there we go. So, they take the backup plan, adult life, selling widgets that make life easier so you can buy widgets that make life easier. Then everything is so goddamn easy that depression sets in, then anxiety. Irrational fears start taking into your mind because there's nothing left to worry about. You start making shit up to worry about. Meanwhile, the guy working on the school project tells you all your fears are substantiated. Eat these pills, watch some Dr. Oz, let him tell you that the pills are bad. Try this instead, find out that this doesn't work, and go back to the pills. But don't change your lifestyle, for God's sake. Don't do anything healthy. You're stressed enough as it is, you'll overexert yourself. Whatever candy snacks you're eating are fine. Just don't look at the ingredients on the back end. For God's sake, don't read. Good Lord. Don't do anything to change. You're beautiful just the way you are. And if that were true, the woman whose face was eaten off by a chimpanzee wouldn't need reconstructive surgery. But she did. Business is the sports for those who can no longer participate in them. The outcropping of our high school mentality into the rest of the world. Yet we still haven't figured out what that kid in the group is up to. He keeps working on petroleum and other forms of energy while securing what foods we eat, constantly telling us, don't worry about him, he's got the project under control. So we fuck off again and look elsewhere, playing our little business game. But some of us start doing research and learn that we are the project. The people in the group are the focus of Project America. How we eat, sleep, fuck, think, move, whine, all of it is being cataloged, and no longer are we burdened with so many clumsy bits of paper to shuffle. Thanks to the internet, the moment you slip into sleep, an algorithm picks it up and documents it as a series of ones and zeros, and stores it in some data bank for an analyst to pore over and decide what's best for you to want. We voluntarily plug ourselves into the databanks, though, with such ferocity in the face of obscurity. It's our drive to be recognized and known. In tune with everything. But is it really that bad to be away from the world? Do they really need to know what we just ate? Where we slept? What we bought? What fluids are in us? Whose fluids? Of course they do! Everyone needs to know! Let's see here. From the cookies on your browser, to the retailer down the street, to the friend in Vietnam, and all strangers in between. To know, to be known, is fame, and fame without work is the best thing there is, because the less energy we expend, the better off our life is. And now, since the way you live is out there, and all of your favorite businesses can give you the best service available, but somehow, with all that information you've given them, things still manage to get fucked up in your daily consuming life. So why do they need all this human data? As long as it's all efficient and quick, you can get on with your day. Watch sports, pick a side of an issue that the news reports on. The thing is, the whole system looks like a drunken dwarf with a colorful pistol aimed at your head. A fanciful nightmare, indeed, yet somehow insubstantial. So then you're walking around a grocery store hungover from the night before, the sight of all the meat, lightly arranged color gradient, rows and rows of prepackaged foods, and all those people moving silently about, pushing wire baskets on wheels. It hits you. You're living in the echo of someone's hallucination. These places you're in, the grocery stores, the fast food joints, the rest areas, all hallucinations, with a specific purpose to keep you in that manufactured reality. When you live in someone else's mental state, it's harder to understand things on your own terms or even come to your own conclusions about all the things around you. It's like trying to understand a non-goofy economy after living in Disneyland your whole life, or having the realization that you can shit other places besides the toilet. After years of doing anything, doing it differently seems absurd, which keeps us in the state of arrested thought. As an idea can flow only from its predecessor, each time you think within someone's hallucination, you continue the trajectory of their mind. So you store away the thought of living in someone else's hallucination, continue on with your life in poverty, still thinking about business's rain-over things. The money that you earn and the job that you have to get seem like a fine you have to pay to stay out of jail. Vagrancy, loitering, hitching free rides on the train is life without business guidance. Jail is our timeout. The corner you go to think about what you've done and how bad you were to the business of sports, or to business or sports or monogamy. But that would make the criminal justice system an arm of parental guidance, which makes those in the system children. What do these parents not want us doing? What laws were created to develop us into true Americans? What laws are the ones broken the most? Drug laws, of course. Drugs the scourge of the 80s, the fashionable monster before online predators and terrorists took over the odds. The thing that brought us the terror of street gangs and alternative lifestyles. The things that don't align with our trifecta of American reality. Although business has been getting wise to the want of certain powerful prescription medications, and with so many people ready to fuck off, a bit of money can't be made. Has to be kept relatively illegal, though. Which makes you speculate that our nation has become a collection of democratic entities being run by unelected officials. Attempts to admire yourself from thought are pointless. No matter what you do, there's always that information needling you, pointing you to the worst. That we've been bought and sold and carry the business weight. Then you finally realize where the monogamy comes in. A successful business cannot come from fucking everything that moves. Someone can't keep the genitals to one person for an extended period of time, ends up covered in fluids and juices, scaring the sensibilities of all of those looking just to fuck off. You can only fuck one business at a time, you can only play one other team at a time. The promotion of pair bonding is essential for sports and business to thrive. Not only for the divorce lawyer, but for the kid in the group shaping America. He wants you in one place. A nomad carries very little, but a 3-bedroom McMansion can hold a pontoon boat, 2 jet skis, and several $100,000 of jet, just so you can gain weight and live a sedentary lifestyle, all the while yelling at your lease-to-own hot dog dispensing flat-screen TV when sport go bad. So, monogamy pairs with sports and business solely because of its ability to produce an emotional connection with singular objects. Business and sports unravel the cloth, and you get to pick what you want attached to. Coke, Pepsi, Ford, Chevy, crack cocaine. Though it helps to pick regionally, it doesn't matter what you pick as long as you pick one and stick to it. Because you're not a goddamn filthy communist trader. You're a monogamist to your product. Psychological pair bonding, fused with group mentality, connects ever so sweetly to sports. So, is your product a winning team? Today it is. So now you're in a committed relationship, you have something to root for, and someone to take up your time so you can pay for your monogamous relationship. But wait, you wonder, isn't politics the most important pillar you're missing? Perhaps the invisible pillar? No, of course not. Politics is business, and the men making the laws are on the right team. And the good guys and the bad guys are always in a monogamous fighting relationship with bad guys. So there really are no politics without sports, business, or monogamy, which is why the country is so fucked. Our opinions are dwindling day by day. Don't worry, we're almost there, fellas. What are our real options, though? Where are we going? What are we doing? What the hell are we? Our group leader won't let us figure that out. If we do that, his project is ruined. We change the dynamic of Project America. Luckily for him, the advent of AI and cybernetics will be becoming a machine before we learn what humanity truly is. And what are we really? We spent millennia attempting to figure it out and have not come any closer than something in a universe that can think, sort of. And so how are we supposed to live, think, and do? It's still a mystery. Yet we can attach a pocket pussy to VR goggles and fuck anything we want. It's distractions like that that keep us from making our own Project America. But if you had the opportunity to fuck whatever you want, and be the most special thing in the universe, and no longer fear being in the horde, obviously you'll continue to fuck off, which leads you directly into the horde. The horde, the faceless throbbing mass that all Americans fear becoming. That large and looming something encroaching on us in a very palatable and marketable feeling. Sold wholesale along with the cure we buy at marked up prices. The horde. Poor, jailed, unpopular, all things connected to a life without freedom, or rather what is perceived as freedom today. But the ultra-rich know something we don't. To have is nothing, but to have access to is everything. Then you realize there's a name for the ones with access. What we imagine to be the horde's opposite. The individual, a Christ-like deity that sacrifices everything in his life working towards the one true goal, the real American dream, the big fuck day. Yes, the big fuck day where all material goods are yours and the boss gets told to shove it because this guy no longer works for a living. In fact, he doesn't have to work ever again. Everyone else look at him because he is now the individual beyond the horde. The problem is the schizophrenic nature of that thought process in the context of Project America, that being work. Work is America. Pure work, forced work, stealing work, Randian work. Those without and those with are just as quick to tell you how much they've worked that day, or week, or month, and how much they've sacrificed for the work. But they never for a moment ask about its worth. The efficacy of doing rather than having meaning has taken over the mindset of the fuck-offs in this country. Working 80 hours a week at a minimum wage, performing repetitive tasks that block out all constructive or critical thought for the sake of profit margin seems maddening and a waste of potential human resources. But don't tell the hardest worker in the world that, though. It will most likely upset them and either make them want to beat you up or tell you how much they work again as if you couldn't quite understand it the first time like you were deaf or foreign. Now we have a nation of overworked and isolated, malleable to the business because you sure as shit ain't seeing your family and friends with that much work, and it's mostly because of that guy. That guy always does more and chastises those just looking for a living. The guy who gets all the materials for the group leader, constantly running circles around the world, making everyone else go at his pace. And the owners love him for doing twice the work at less pay and no overtime. Because fuck the unions, they get in the way of the business. For every moment not used to push a project or product forward is a moment of productivity or creativity lost. And therefore all other projects, uncreated and unthought of, are harmed by way of a single act of inactivity. Either way, you move on and you drive through a work zone on the highway where the fines are increased. It seems that doing some things is more legal there than other places in terms of punishment. Then you start thinking about how last week the work zone wasn't so large and didn't have as many state troopers parked on it. Then it hits you that the power structure can grow effortlessly in the name of safety and productivity. The freedom that you're told to have is shrinking, and then the homestead becomes the only place left to think the way you want. That's slowly being swallowed up too, because with your fridge and everything else in your house hooked up to the internet, any three-letter agency with enough force can see what you're doing, how you're doing it, and even be so kind as to tell you when your tomatoes have gone tits up. But we allow this, and we pretend that invasion is an impossibility when it's now ubiquity. We are the horde to be watched, but why do we blindly accept this? You talk to a friend who explains it quite elegantly. We want to be watched. It all makes sense now. The big fuck day, the fame and fortune, the several three-letter agencies. It's helpless in the face of the horde. It's helplessness in the face of the horde. No longer able to fight the beast, we pretend since we're being so heavily spied upon, we must be an individual, and that sprig of drama helps buttress against our fears of becoming a part of the mass. But you're still lonely. How? We're more connected than ever. At the click of a button, you can speak with anyone in the world, but that's the greatest con of all. Like a psychiatric test, the only choices you have are made to meet a certain criteria, a certain framework, a certain hallucination. And the hallucination seems to keep us working and separate. No escape after the test is taken, no write-ins allowed. Write-ins get a 5150 and a poor rating on their credit. For shame. Which is what we come to as a country, a nation of placement tests and credit goblins. You finally muster the courage to go against the product leader with a rallying cry small business owner. The group leader's companies do not like competition the way you were taught to like it. They'd rather buy you out than have to steal your technology, and since you've been waiting for the big fuck day all your life, you take the money and run, giving up your baby and drinking the bathtub gin left over. Which makes you want to become, in a horrible twist of irony, the very thing you're afraid of, the horde. Now that you've been bought up, your thing appears in the dull mass of same thing on every channel, same thing on every radio station. Now the internet, as transformative as it was, is becoming the same mental slush as well. What was once a bastion of strangeness and originality is now a simple interface with the same sites or one catch-all site like Facebook or Reddit or anything of the like, as opposed to a cluttered stumbling through unrefined information closer to the human mind. It seems to happen to everything man makes or touches. The radio wants a station for every town, and soon after a three-letter entity got the hold of a few stations, the gobbling began, and no more did we have the people's radio. It was one radio for the people. And why the three letters? Why do these things of control boil themselves down to an acronym of three letters? Is it some ancient magic proclaiming three is the number of power, made greater with three letters representing a greater force? As senseless as it is, there may be something to the three-letter acronym. So if you've got a fridge, you've got the house. And if you've got the house, it means you're stationary. Become the perfect consumer, locked into 30 years of debt, the perfect three-letter acronym. the perfect SBM.
Thank you. I've got one more thing, if you can stand it. It's really quick.
Yes, good. We can stand it.
Thank you, Majid.
Alright, this is just a quick poem. I got the idea from a Randy Newman song, and I thought it was kind of cute, so I just want to read it. Nothing big.
Last night I dreamt. I remembered it too. And what I saw there, it was you. And all those people that you know, they were there too. Under the sunlight, on merry-go-round, I watched you go by. As silently as night, a tremor sigh. And all those people that you know, they went by and by and by. It terrified me when the world slowed. Because then it was my name you cried. Laughter bounced around and glowed like a neon peacock they had at the freak show. I couldn't see it though, because of all those people with you. It's what I dreamt. It's what I dreamt of you last night.
That's my set. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate y'all.